In the opening scene, we see a man walk into the room of his son named Rob, on a rainy night. He comes bearing sad news. He is leaving him and his mother. The confused child asks why, and his reason is because she is unstable, and they don't get along. The boy doesn't want to stay with his mom, but his dad tells him he has to until 9 more years when he can make decisions for himself. The man compares marriage to living in a concentration camp. 30 years later, Rob is all grown up. He is in bed with Marta, his girlfriend, who says a prayer for his mom and their dad's souls to find peace of mind. He wonders why she doesn't pray for things she wants for herself, but she believes that God doesn't give one thing they want for themselves. Rob doesn't know that's fair. They share a kiss which Marta loves. In the next scene, Rob wakes up to a call from his friend, Chris. He reveals that Taylor, a lady who moved to Australia 8 years ago, is back and she is more gorgeous than ever. He is thinking of making a move on her, now that he has settled down with Marta, but Rob warns him off. This news surprises him and he keeps thinking about it. When he returns to bed, he lies to Taylor that he has been up for a while and barely slept. Later, after they have dressed up, Rob is listening to the news about the universe, but Marta changes it back to music. The two argue back and forth about Rob's scientific interest and Marta's love for God, which are conflicting. They do not believe that same ideology. Rob changes the station to a completely different channel from what either of them likes. While Rob is at work at his nutritionist's office, he gets a visit from one of his clients, Tony, who seems stressed. He wonders if he has been sticking to his food plans, but Tony complains of the stress he is facing with his wife, which doesn't even allow him to follow the food plan. Rob suggests a diet to alleviate his stress, but Tony confesses that his wife caught him sleeping with her sister. He doesn't feel remorseful about it and he claims it's because her sister is hotter than she is. Tony's words make Rob think he just fell out of love with his wife, but he is shocked when he claims he was never really in love with her to start with. He suspects that Rob is not married yet, making him reveal that he is living with someone. Meanwhile, Marta is with her friend, Lena, at home, who wonders why she does all the cooking when Rob is the nutritionist. Marta believes the way to rule a man is through his stomach. Her friend reveals that a friend of theirs, Beatrix, is pregnant. This news excuses Marta and at the same time, makes her sad. She doesn't understand why it's so easy for others to get pregnant except for her. Lena believes it's up to Marta to make Rob give her a baby. Rob comes back from work to overhear Lena saying that it's been 3 years that they have been together, and he has not proposed marriage to her, nor made her pregnant. She thinks it is a plan by Rob not to marry her. Marta remembers how she thought he was finally going to propose to her when they went on a vacation to Venice, but he played with his phone instead. Lena advises her to stop being a romantic and take control of the situation. She reminds her that she is going to be 38 the following month. Marta finally decides to take the balls into her court and do something about her situation. Rob's phone rings and he quickly silences it as he walks away from the house. He goes back home and meets Marta and Mary, his mother. She popped up just to say hi to him. She has come to ask for his help with her boiler, but he tells her she should get a professional. Throughout the conversation, he acts snappy till his mother walks out angrily. When she leaves, Marta wonders why he acted so mean, but he comes up with an excuse. In the next scene, Marta is with their friends and they talk about the different women Chris goes out with. Just then, Chris walks in with yet another attractive girl. Rob pulls him aside and Chris wants to give him Taylor's number because everyone thinks that's what he wants. But Rob is trying to seek his advice. He knows that Marta is going to leave him if he doesn't marry and have babies with her. This doesn't surprise Chris because he had been with her for so long. He advises him to move on and be with several other great women out there, or he should stick with Marta. He taunts him about hitting on Taylor and shows him her pictures. When Rob sees her picture, he can't help but gasp in excitement. Marta walks in on them and they pretend they are talking about something else. It almost turns into an argument, so Chris excuses them. Later, Rob goes for martial arts training with his friends. There, Chris reveals that he is meeting up with Taylor, making the guys surprised. He even lies about telling Marta. The other guys are disappointed with him for following in the footsteps of Chris. In the next scene, Rob meets with Taylor. She thinks that Chris is joining them and is surprised that she is meeting with just Rob. He explains that he thought about her a lot since they broke up, but she didn't count what they had as a relationship. He reveals that he has a girlfriend and begins to list her great qualities. But she seems more interested in Chris and asks if he has a girlfriend. He tells her he has a whole harem of them and she can't deny it because he is attractive. She excuses herself to go to a dinner party, leaving him there all alone. Afterward, Rob goes to narrate his meeting to his friend, John. He doesn't like how he keeps letting Chris talk him into doing silly things. Rob reveals that he and Marta have an issue, but his friend tries encouraging him that Marta is the best girl he has been with so far, because she is kind, honest, and hardworking. He thinks that if he splits up with her, he will deny her the last chance of having a kid. Rob and Chris go to a jewelry store. He has decided to propose to Marta, but he is so nervous about this step that he has to walk out of the store hastily. Chris didn't help matters and thinks he is trying to put himself into a lifelong captivity. He assures him that he can get any girl he wants, without being committed. To prove his point, he walks over to a random girl, Rebecca, on the street and gives her his number. He mentions that he is a nutritionist and that is the career the girl is seeking to pursue. Rob meets with his friend who also already heard that he bailed out on buying the engagement ring. He thinks his reaction is normal because he is about to make a great life decision. Rob has decided to follow Chris's advice and to give it a week to conclude. He has no affection for Marta, but his friend also feels the same about his partner. He thinks the only reason Marta has not left him is because she is in her 30s and time is not on her side. Rob and Marta eat, and she jokes about fattening him up so he can't leave her. During their conversation, she mentions how she has aged so far, and her biological clock is ticking. Rob narrates their conversation to his friend, especially how she seems edgy recently. He literally has to walk on eggshells around her now, because even the smallest things seem to piss her off. He wonders if his friend felt excited when he got engaged, but he can't remember. However, he advises Rob not to mess things up. Rob goes to a bar to meet Rebecca, the girl Chris got her number on the street. He shows her the list of all the colleges she can go to if she wants to be a nutritionist. The girl is disappointed that he thinks that's why she is there. She clarifies that she is there for a date with him. She reveals that Chris said he was desperate. Rob is dumbfounded and he nervously reveals that he has a girlfriend and their relationship is complicated. She is angry that he is secretly texting with her while he has a girlfriend. As they argue back and forth, his mom calls, and he ignores it. Rebecca urges him to pick it up, but he tells her that she is a complete pain and nightmare. He proceeds to turn the phone off while calling his mom a narcissist. This shocks Rebecca. She stands up to leave because this is not the guy she sees herself with. She thinks he has issues with women generally, and from their conversation she has deduced that he lies to his girlfriend and has no regard for his mom, the two major females in his life. She advises him to do better and walks out on him. Her words get to him, such that when he gets home, he informs Marta that he is taking his mom out. She is surprised by his sudden change in behavior, especially when he mentions that he has decided to be a better person. Little did she know that he had been influenced by a lady who rejected him. She advises him to calmly listen to what his mom has to say without arguing with her. The poor woman only wants someone to listen to her, and no one does, except for her. Rob doesn't understand how she is always so nice to people. It comes easily for her. She reveals that's the secret to being happy and making other people happy. Rob thinks she is a nicer person than her. Surprisingly, it's the same things her friends tell her. He takes his mom to a diner and she tries feeding him. He wants to decline but later accepts, but when he bites into the food, he spits it out because it's what he is allergic to. He accuses her of trying to poison him, but she simply wants him to eat with her. She tells him that he is doing exactly what his father used to do to her. That is, blame her for everything. While they are still arguing, he begins to get an allergic reaction and has to walk to the waitress for some napkins to clean his eyes. She sees that his breathing is weird and offers him her inhaler. He appreciates her gestures but declines because it won't work for a food allergy. He tells her he is going back to his mom. The lady admires him for taking his mom out and begins to make passes at him. He is shocked when she asks him to take her out for a drink, especially since he is a bit older than her. Not one to back down, she tells him she likes old guys. She informs him that she will put her number on the bill. She does so when she brings the bill to their table. Rob goes to Chris's house just in time to meet a different girl, leaving his apartment. Rob is surprised at how easy it is for his friend to get different girls. Chris confesses that he is finding it hard to keep the girls. The girls are demanding more commitment from him, and that's not what he wants. Rob suggests they go out, but he sees that as too much work, and chooses to watch TV instead. When Rob gets home, he reveals his worries about Chris to Marta about turning into a sex addict. She reveals that her church might be going on a trip. He doesn't get how attached she is to her faith, but she explains that being with her church members gives hope and faith. Seeing that he is still not willing to see reasons with her, she walks out on him. Rob is getting some coffee when Lena walks up to him. She warns him to stop being an idiot to Marta. She thinks that it's because he has a low sperm count that he keeps rejecting having a baby with Marta. He tells her that he is healthy, but having a baby is a great life decision. Lena reveals that Marta is always lonely and she needs to have something that would last, but instead, he keeps treating her like she is not a real human being. She believes that everything is fine between them until Marta wants them to have a baby. After giving him a piece of her mind, she walks away angrily. On his way home, Rob narrates the whole situation to Chris on the phone. He thinks that Marta is behind the whole thing. Quite typical of Chris, he advises him to stand his ground on his decision and not accept being pushed around. He reminds him that he has other options. The guys meet at the martial arts center, and they learn that John has not gotten laid in 18 months. They are all surprised to hear this, but John is angry that Sunil revealed his secret to everyone. The coach walks up to them to walk them out because they don't always participate whenever they come around. They all go to a bar. Rob is surprised to discover that they think that Marta is a bit boring. He doesn't believe that they want him to spend the rest of his life with someone boring. Sunil advises him not to think about her that way because he may never be happy with her. John thinks every girl a guy meets starts as a 10, but when you get to know them, they begin to go lower. He thinks that Marta is a 6. They think that he considers himself too good for her. Rob receives a message from Olivia, who is currently waiting for him at a bar. John sees the message and teases him about it. However, while they are talking, Chris is busy watching a porn video which he claims they keep sending to him. Rob goes to meet Olivia at the bar. She draws him in for a rather awkward hug. Olivia talks about the drink she wants to have, and a lady that overhears them thinks they are going to spend the night together. So, she offers to buy them tequila. She thinks they look nice together. She mentions that the rooms upstairs are very nice and Olivia is excited about it. The woman invites them to the room she has with her man and reveals that they have some coke upstairs. Olivia excitedly agrees while Rob is reluctant. In the next scene, they are all in the ladies' room. While Rob is in the bathroom, Marta calls, but he ignores her call. The woman's boyfriend makes a video of the two ladies making out on the bed and Rob tries to stop them. She grabs him but he refuses. They tell him to leave and he grabs Olivia, who is intoxicated. When they leave, she tries getting back in there because that is what she likes, but Rob advises her to avoid hanging out with those kinds of people. She thinks that he is avoiding her because he doesn't like her. He puts her in a cab home. When he gets home, Olivia doesn't allow him in because he refuses to pick up her calls and he is coming home late. He has to go to Sunil's house to crash. He advises him to sort out things with her before it is too late. The next day, Rob meets with Chris. He shamefully reveals that he is having issues with his sex life such that he and one of his girls, Nat, went to see a sex counselor. They were told that they were no longer drawn to each other and there would be a brother-sister kind of relationship. Rob shows him the engagement ring he has finally bought. He goes and meets Marta and takes her to the countryside for a little vacation. She is surprised because he doesn't like the place, but he insists on going. They sit to dine and he is still a bit nervous all through. He has a hard time putting his words together, but he finally reveals that it is time to give her what she wants, marriage and kids. However, the problem is that he did not say it romantically. He says it like it's what he owes her, like a business transaction, and drops the ring on the table. Marta is so angry with the way he just proposed to her and questions if he loves her, because his words don't show that he does. She throws his ring at him and walks out on him angrily. She locks herself in the room and refuses to open up to him. He pleads that she opens the door, but she shouts at him. She realizes that he doesn't know how to love anyone and she deserves better. She sends him away and yells for him to go away. She sobs. Rob narrates all that happened to the guys. Marta refuses to pick up his calls and has changed all her locks. Chris laughs at him. He thinks this is a lucky escape for him. The other guys inform him that their partners sided with Marta, so he can't stay with them. Rob is just left with Chris. In the next scene, Rob goes to pick up his stuff and meets Lena, who shows him that Marta has already packed his stuff outside and he can't enter the house. When she goes to meet Marta inside, she mentions that she almost feels sorry for him. But Marta believes that he is reaping the reward of what he sold. She is looking at profiles of sperm donors. It appears she has decided to get a donor so she can have a baby before it is too late for her. Her friend confirms if she is willing to go on this journey with her. She is determined to, because the kind of men she has come across are the weak ones who don't love her. Lena thinks the solution to their predicament is choosing better men, because the experience she has growing up without a dad is lonely. Marta believes she had so much love in her to give her unborn child, without the support of any man. Meanwhile, Rob moves in with Chris. He dials Marta's number but she doesn't pick. He leaves a voicemail for her, apologizing for everything that he did. The next day at his office, Rob's client, Tony, comes to his office angrily. He learned from his doctor that all Rob has been telling him about nutrition is false, and that he is pre-diabetic. Rob reminds him that he refused to do blood work, so he was unable to know his medical condition. When he keeps ranting, Rob suggests that maybe the solution to his problem is to stop sleeping with his wife's sister. But the problem is that he can't. He is way too deep in it. Rob goes to a pub. The lady sitting beside him strikes up a conversation with him. She wonders what dating app he is on, but he reveals that he is not on any, and he is newly single. The lady thinks his ex-girlfriend left him for a younger model, but he explains that their breakup was his fault. He didn't clearly explain how he felt to her. The lady tags him as a man-child. He claims to be looking for the right person, but she tells him that he won't, if he has that same mindset of the perfect person. Back at Chris's place, Rob talks to him when he is about to go see an escort. He thinks it is high time he starts having a different mentality about relationships. Chris claims to be different from them and does not want to feel any emotions like them. His lifestyle pretty much suits him because it is one without commitment or expectations. However, all the friends go about their different lives. Marta also keeps her faith. Rob can't take it anymore, so he goes to see Lena asking for Marta's new address. She refuses to give it to him and advises that he move on, just as she has done. But he has tried and he can't. She reminds him that he didn't love her and made her work so much for his attention when they were together. Rob confesses that he does love her now. Then she confronts him about taking a waitress for a hire when they were together. He confesses that he didn't do anything with the girl and she should tell Marta that he misses her. When he realizes that Lena is not helping matters, he goes to Sunil's place to ask for his help on how to get Marta back. His friend thinks that it's too late to do that because he doesn't love her. He reminds him that when they were together all he thought of was himself. He never considered her as a real person worth loving. Sunil accuses him of being incapable of loving someone and loving only when it's convenient, which is why he changed when she wanted them to have a baby. He explains that the evidence of real love is when he loves his woman unconditionally, during the ugly and convenient periods. Rob finally realizes that his friend is right. As a last resort, he goes to meet his mom at a restaurant. He wants to sort things out with her, so they won't have to always keep arguing whenever they meet. He believes she is always at fault, but his mom accuses him of always blaming her. However, she tells him that he is not like his dad. Instead, he is very loyal and endured staying with her even though it wasn't easy staying with her. Even though he always finds her embarrassing, he sticks with her. He confesses that he has messed up things a lot, but his mom assures him that he will be fine. She explains that love is very simple and the secret of staying together is simply staying together regardless of all that might be going on. Back at home, Rob suddenly has an idea of how to find Marta. He goes to church and finds her sitting there alone after the end of the service. He begs to talk to her and lists out how he has been selfish and never showed her love. He pleaded with her to start again. He puts his hand on the Bible to swear that he truly loves her, but she believes that nothing he swears on matters because he doesn't believe in anything. She tells him that it is too late because she found a sperm donor who is Danish, has 2 PhDs, and also reveals she is pregnant. She didn't want to spend any more time waiting for a guy to come. Rob is speechless and gets dumbfounded. After a while, he gives her the engagement ring to sell and keep the money for herself. He knows how much she wants a kid and he is happy for her regardless. He knows she will be an amazing mom. He begs to be there for her because he wants to be part of her life. He offers to help her with her needs right away. Marta realizes that he has changed indeed as he walks away to get her a sandwich.